Hey guys, it's Paul back again. And no, we're not doing paper mache today, we're making rust repair sections. As you can see earlier, I picked this piece off the back there, and before I can replace that panel back, I need to repair the rust which is underneath it, which I'm going to do. Now, there's a fair bit of rust here, and I'm going to have to do it in a couple of little sections, or probably three, or maybe two. There's this section here which I've made a template for, which I've made out of paper, which I'm going to cut out of metal, and then I'll bend it. I'll bend the metal up and cut this out here and weld that up. And then there's this section here, which I have my template semi-made for it, because I'll wait until I've finished this part here first before I complete that. But I'm almost certain I know exactly how it's going to go. I'll come back here a bit, down to the corner, follow the corner all the way along to the end, and replace that whole piece there, because that's rusted. But if you look at the rest of the floor underneath there, I don't know if you can see, I haven't cleaned it yet. It's not very clear. Put some light on that. And apart from dirt, there's only dirt and dust on that. So it's pretty good. So, step one, make my template. Step two, go and cut it out and bend it up and see if it fits. Step three, cut out the old section and clean it all up and rust convert it. And step four would be to weld the new section in and grind it up. Then clean it all up and give it a bit of paint. And then I can progress to, before I paint it, I'll complete this other section here, do both of them, and then I'll paint it, and then I can repaint the inside here before I put this back piece back on and put this lower rear quarter panel back on. Alright guys. Okay guys, so I've cut this panel out and I've bent it with my Kingswood bead roller. So I've got a nice little edge on there that I've bent. So I'm just checking it, dummy fitting it to see that it fits in there properly, and do a little bit of adjustment that will fit in there just nicely, and replace that rusted out section. So now I know how much I've got to cut back. I'll leave this little bit here hang off the edge on the right hand side there, but what I'll do first is I'll clean up the other area so that I can actually weld this on. After I've welded it on and I've done the other side over here, then I'll cut this piece here on the very corner, because I want to make sure I've got it in the right spot, and it doesn't matter if I leave a little bit of overhang if it's not in the way. So that's the next step. Alright guys, back shortly. Alright, we're back again. So since I've last spoke to you guys, I've spent the past couple of hours or so cutting or bending up this piece of metal here, which I've shaped, fit in here and from that template, and it's replaced the rusted out section there and given me something solid to weld onto here. So while I'm here, I'll finish up what I can on the front part there, because there's still rust here and I have to replace this section, which I've already made. I have made it. It's here somewhere. There it is. So that section will go in there. I've obviously got to cut the overhang, and that will give me a rust-free corner. bar this little bit in here, which I'm going to get to while I'm here also. But then what I'll do is I'm going to flip the car over, and because I don't want to weld upside down, oops, to that edge there, I want to weld it back to the side panel here. As you can see a little bit of light in there. I'm going to weld it back to there on the other side, because I'll be able to grind that much easier than trying to get in here. I'll be able to get in there to tidy it up a little bit, but it should be alright. I should be able to get a reasonable run, hopefully, going. This is 1.1 mil, and this is, well, used to be 1.1 minus whatever corrosion, but I've pretty much removed all the rust, and I've just got to clean this surface here. It's pretty good. After I've done that, then I'll be able to spray paint this part, and put the side lower skin and the rear skin as well. So we're getting there. All right, I'll update shortly. Okay guys, here's a quick update for you. You'll see that a little bit better. Okay, that was the section there that was missing. Obviously it was flipped upside down, it was flipped the other way around. This camera won't focus very well. Go iPad, gotta love your Apple. So basically what I've done is we've replaced this section here, and we've folded it down underneath there. We replaced this section here and folded down there, and there's also a seam or a fold that goes in the back there where it's welded along there as well, and that's before I put the lower quarter panel back on, and it's already been cut to size, and it fits. Oops, making a mess here. It's already been cut to size, and it fits just a little bit. I can't really do it holding one hand, but and what I'm going to do first of all, what I'm going to do now that that's been welded up inside and that all that's been fixed, I'm going to go over and strip the paint off the inside part there, and I'm going to treat it with a rust inhibitor, a rust preventer, and then I'll give it a coat of etch primer, and I'll paint it with Holden black, not flat black, with a gloss black, which will be the same as the engine bay, will be the same as the boot, and will be the same as underneath. I'm going to try and avoid putting tar back in places. I don't like tar. I really don't. I will put some mastic where it's required, like right down in the seams, but I'm not going to put great big lumps like they did before, because I think it's just a place to catch water, and you know, where the water doesn't drain away, it rusts. So hopefully this old girl's good for another 50 years. Alright, I'll keep going, and I'll add this to all one big video.